Hey guys, I'm Slave to the Games. Thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate it. Last week I didn't really do anything except for leave like a really small message about basically on YouTube why I wasn't really doing anything, which was there was literally nothing. There was no updates, there was no progress updates, nothing. They pretty much kept it under wraps, and for this specific reason, I'm going to explain why. And without further ado, thank you guys for stopping by again. I appreciate your continued support. I really hope you guys are learning something new, or at least being able to understand what I'm telling you through this information that the developers are giving out, and I'm telling you guys now as you watch it. And hopefully that keeps reigniting your interest in Scum. I still think it's an interesting game, and I want to continue to see it develop as it is now. I do wish the updates were a little bit more frequent now, but I mean, that's just me personally being a little bit greedy with how fast I get things. Now, the first thing is they call it Wild Hunter 0.1.19.100050. And pausing real quick, I am actually going to start doing these videos and no longer weekly. It's going to be as the things come out. So when an update comes out, when news comes out, for like, okay, they'll be like, we're working on this right now. This is what we're working on. I will release a video and do a stream basically talking about that. When it says this is what came out, I'm going to do a video on what does that. No matter when it is, I'm going to do it when it is released and I find it. As to be a little bit more relevant with the time frame, and it's basically going to be myself from now on. Thank you, though, for sticking with me, and I continue to hope you continue sticking with me. Sorry, like I said, 24-hour live stream. I just finished it, and I took a little bit of a nap, and I'm a little bit tired. But once again, let's get right into this. Thank you for stopping by. Now, I'm going to read what they say. You can see it too. Here it is, boys and girls, the Scum Wild Hunter update. Before we get into the details, here's an eloquent description of the patch. Scum's Wild Hunter update introduces an intense series of new features catering to the prisoner's most primal urges. The update is highlighted with the introduction of basic bow and arrow skills for both hunting, wild game, and combat against puppets and other prisoners. Prisoners can put these new skills to use by tracking and striking new boars and goats roaming the island, and crafting their trophies into intimidating headwear or decorative spiked heads. Slow things down around the campfire with new musical instruments to play, including a banjo, guitar, and harmonica. Additionally, the character customization includes a fully nude character model and the ability to apply attribute points to a prisoner's genitals. Now, I pretty much summed it up, which is great because some of these are what I wanted to come out. Another one's kind of a Rust expedition, but not really that bad. Basically, expedition. Basically, here's what the bow's gonna look like, guys. Let's see if we can kind of get a closer look just for you. Boop, 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 boop. Boom. So I'm assuming this is the regular one, and this one's got to be the improvised, or the one that you can actually find instead of the one you can craft, or maybe you can craft both. Oh, here we go. The recurve bow on the right is a basic bow that can be found through the island. Ba-boom! With bigger durability than the improvised bow. The improvised bow on the left, this one, is the most basic type of bow in the game. Its durability is the weakest point, and it can only be crafted. So basically what I said beforehand. Just so you guys know, I actually haven't read this ahead of time other than a quick glance so that I knew that there was actually going to be content to talk about. So this is new to me in detail as well as you. The carbon arrow, which is this one, most likely going to be used for the recurve bow, is the most durable arrow and can only be found. So recurve bow equivalent. I'm assuming you can use it with both bows though. Wooden arrow can be crafted but does not offer much durability and can only be crafted. Important note, this is the first version of the bow and arrow mechanics. We will expand on it and introduce more as time passes as we upgrade the skill. Now, they also did talk about how they were going to be having different types of arrows that you'll be able to craft as well, so later in the future. That is something I find interesting, and I think the bow is pretty cool. Right now, I don't think I'm going to use it too much until they actually start making it to where I can't find weapons as easily, which we'll get to that a little bit later. They added Primal Crafting, which we went over, and basically this is a new boar head piece. This is a new goat head piece, I believe. Yep, goat cap and boar cap. So I like the goat cap. I don't know about you guys. Boar cap's okay, but the goat cap looks pretty damn badass. Here's all the head spikes for, I'm assuming that's a horse, a donkey, a deer, a person, a boar, and a goat. There we go. That does look like a horse's one, right? Yeah. Now, does that mean there's horses in the game now, or is there going to be, and that's what it's going to look like? Because I haven't seen any horses since playing, and I don't remember seeing any updates about horses. So if you guys did see anything about that, don't forget to leave a comment below if you're watching this on YouTube, so that I can actually look into this. Because, like I said, there is a horse head right here. That is a horse. Now, never enough Halloween decorations. These heads-on spikes send a clear message to people who wander into your camp. Also, these are crafted through the blueprint system, so you can get creative with them. Now, honestly, with these head spikes, they are kind of cool to be able to do, you know, if you're gonna kind of look like a raider outpost. But at the same time, it's kind of pointless. I mean, nobody in game's really gonna be afraid of these or intimidated by these. Nobody. Like, I'll see it and I'll be like, dang. But I'm not gonna be like, oh, I've got to stay away from this guy. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Maybe if he had like 30 or 40 heads around his place, then I would. But I mean, even then, that's still like maybe, because that could take some time to do that. It could just be me though. Comment how you guys feel about that. If you guys would actually avoid a base if it had 10 to 40 heads, like anywhere in between, like what you would do with a certain number of heads. Now the next one is, everyone asked for tooth necklace, and so here it is. Right here is the teeth on the necklace, and this one is the ears. I'm not gonna read this because it's basically just saying what we're seeing right now, which 3 different variants of each one. And I mean, I think it's, again, cool, but not really something that I really care too much about. I'm all for expanding the game and what you can do in a game, but at the same time, I really just want to focus on what it is that I like. So this will all come together as a great game in the end, hopefully, is what my hopes are going for. And all these tiny things will add up to like, oh, you can do pretty much anything type of game, which I'm really hoping that's what it turns into, because I have high hopes for Scum. Now, the nudity. It's obviously blurred out, but you're going to be able to sum up this, because I did read this. It's going to have a set size when you first go in, and you're going to be able to increase it or decrease it, and increasing it will actually cost attribute points. Decreasing it will give you some. And for all of you who have the supporter pack like me, you will get an extra 2 inches for free. So yeah, that's good. Basically with this, as I'm scanning through it, it doesn't really have a point other than just the nudity. You can turn it off, as well as the default size being 4 inches. Now, musical instruments is this guitar, banjo, harmonica. Like we said before, this is what it looks like. It looks like a pretty basic guitar, pretty basic harmonica, and I am not sure, but I don't think that's a pretty basic banjo, but I could be wrong since I've never actually played the banjo. I almost said banjo. Musical instruments can be played with keyboards starting with C note on R keynote. Okay, so they actually have all the notes, I believe. You guys will have to tell me if this is all the notes. I actually don't play guitar, banjo, or harmonica. So if these right here, is C major, C minor? I don't really know. Okay, but the point is you can see them all right here. I gotta move it up a little bit so you guys can see it because my face is there. These are all the notes for it that you can press right now, and you can rebind them however you want, as they're saying, like right down here. And that when you play an instrument, all functions are disabled besides moving. So you can move with it, but you can't do anything else. Hopefully that's something, again, like I said, is a small thing that becomes so you can do anything type of thing in this world. Not something I really care too much about, but it still might be fun to do, like, when you're bored. Now, they added, for you people who own your own servers, behind the camera. You can actually fly around now as a drone and see what's going on. I actually personally like this, but I'm very sad because I no longer have a server to keep up or keep running. For now, this mode is only available to users that rent servers and have the admin role, though we are working on expanding that in the future. And then they say, yes, it's here. You could finally become a drone and fly around. To enable it, just create a character with the name Drone290818. WSD is movement, mouse scroll increases, decreases the speed, enter changes the view, page up, down, teleports you to players. And then you can also get a glimpse of the underground part of the new Naples as it's released in this patch, which is right here, I believe, and here. So it does look a lot better than when we first looked at it. And finally, they added simplifies Chinese for everybody if you want to. It's in the Wild Hunter update, and there's a new head option. I said op, but there's a new head option that you can use, which is a Chinese face, which I like. I like being able to have more character customization, and can't wait to see that further expanded on. Now, they say this is important. As Scum is a survival game at its core, they're starting to slowly decrease spawn rates of items for a more survival feel in the game. This, I am not sure how I feel about. I'm going to go into what it does exactly. You probably saw some glimpses, but I'm going to go into what it does exactly after I explain this. Now, I never really had a problem with the fact that I could loot and then kill people and then kill puppets and just survive. Because with the world, as I've seen some people complain about it, as it is, there's not much to do in the game. There really isn't, other than survive. And people can defend it left and right, and I've seen people defend it left and right hardcore. And I love the game, don't get me wrong. It's just, there's not enough to do for them to make it to where it's like ridiculously hard to survive right now. Now, at the same time, is that a bad thing? I don't know. I mean, they did decrease the military loot spawn rate by 50%, all of the loot by 25%. So, I mean, with that, it's a significant drop depending on what you find. Now, I did have to say, it did seem like at some points I was finding too much stuff, so we'll have to see exactly how this is doing. I think what they had it at beforehand was pretty good. It just needed some more fixes, maybe a little bit more reduced spawn, so that when people did find things, it wasn't like you were just finding something in every single cabinet in the regular houses or anything like that. So maybe this is actually good. I actually have high hopes that by decreasing it by 50% and the other loot by 25%, that this will actually make it seem a little bit more barren where it needs to be, but I don't think they need to reduce it any lower than that. I think where they reduced it to right now is the perfect percentage of loot to be found. I think it needs to stay here. It shouldn't be decreased anymore, because we get the fact that we want to play survival games and have to like scavenge for supplies. But we don't actually want to not find anything ever. And there may be people who do like that. But I know personally, I want to feel like I'm playing a survival game. I want it to be hardcore. But I also don't want it to become a chore to play the game past the point to where I'm enjoying that hardcoreness. Because I love hardcore games. I like extremely hardcore games. I put all my games on the hardest difficulty, turn off aim assist, etc. Do whatever I can. Sometimes even take off the entire HUD. However, I don't want to dislike the fact that I'm playing the game. I want to be able to get mad and angry because I'm not surviving good enough, or I'm not finding what I need specifically. But I don't want to feel like I'm never finding anything, I'm never doing anything, or everything's pointless, or something like that. You get the point. I could go on and on for this, but I'm not going to. I'm going to move on now because I can talk a lot about things. To say, all food gained from chopping puppets, animals, and players is now reduced by 50%. Fame point gain from shooting sentries is 4% lower now. And tearing out papers from diaries does not give fame points anymore. I didn't actually know that did beforehand, so that's news to me. Increased sugar gain on juices from 11G to 9G per 100 G. G obviously stands for grams. I'm just saying G to shorten it. Now, urinating will now decrease sodium levels up to 10% per urination. So keep your sodium levels up, guys. Puppets can't be chopped into meat or fat anymore. Meat could not be eaten before anyway, so we decided to remove it. There's also a little typo right here, but we'll ignore that. Binoculars take 2x2 space in inventory now. All scopes can be used as binoculars by just holding them in your hand, which is cool now, because, I mean, I didn't really see the point of having binoculars if you could just have a gun. And now if you have a scope or binoculars, it could be used the same way. Now, bug fixes, guys. And these are probably the ones that I may or may not have known about, but are going to be cool to have fixed anyways. They fixed the event selection combo box, sometimes not changing the selected event. They fixed a bug where grape trees would disappear after searching. Fixed a bug that caused camera to fly away if death occurred while prisoner was in the air. That's a pretty funny one. They fixed a bug where corpses would disappear sometimes. Where items would disappear after being stabbed. Okay. Bug with lookout ladders being unclimbable. Okay, at least that's fixed. I actually like that one. Scope crosshair disappearing issue. And the prisoner corpse is now properly cleared of equipment on search. Okay. I'm assuming that one means that you could loot stuff, but it actually didn't take it away, and then other people could probably loot stuff. A bug where prisoner corpse was twitching and teleporting on death. a bug where people would fall through the land caves and be able to kill players below the ground, a bug where some blueprints could not be destroyed. Okay, seems like they still got some bugs that are actually pretty interesting and that I'm actually gonna enjoy. Finally, the admin commands, guys. For all of you who own your own servers, you're all lucky. And then also, the admin commands for banning and setting fame points can be done even if the player is offline now. Banned players are removed from the statistic list. And then added the new set fame points to all value. Every online player on the server gets the same amount of fame points. And then optimizations and anti-cheat. More client and server optimizations, improvements due to 4.20 migration, and further updates on their anti-cheat system, which obviously they're not going to talk about because they don't want people cheating. In case you get a problem of connecting to a server, please keep in mind from the moment of the patch deployment that the service can take up to 60 minutes to update. There we go. Okay. Now, what you're seeing behind me is actually my previous stream looped around talking about it. Now, I just wanted to say real quick, I do appreciate you guys stopping by. I hope you guys learned something new, and I'm glad for all of you who just keep coming by to show your support, to like my videos, tell me I'm pretty much doing great, and to keep on going. It actually means a lot. Thank you guys for stopping by once again. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. I will see you in my next upload, stream, video, or one of the three. I'm out of here.